What episode are we on? Episode 18 of Season 1. The 18th episode overall! This is Velvet Owl Watches Baywatch Nights, so you don't have to. And I've been debating, should I rename these episodes? Because the idea is that I'm watching them so you don't have to, but you might kind of want to watch Baywatch Nights. It's not every episode, but some of these episodes are quite, fantastic. And they're fun. And they've got Hasselhoff. And they usually have Angie Harmon in a bikini. So, there kind of is a lot to recommend watching Baywatch Nights. So, at this point, it's not even torture for me. Okay, it is torture for me. But it's slightly less torturous than, some of the movies I do on the other half of my podcast. Velvet Owl watches movies, so you don't have to. Though, truthfully, if you're listening to either or podcast, they're kind of all on the same channel, so you know that they exist. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't care. But we are on Season 1, Episode 18. We are almost to the end of Season 1. That is exciting. This episode is called Vengeance, which could mean so many things, but I'm assuming means someone is out for vengeance. And is it the Hasselhoff Detective Agency? Is one of them out for vengeance? Is it Lou Rawls coming back to get some sexy vengeance? Or do they have to protect someone who is the not the victim, the potential victim? There's the target. Someone who's the target of someone else's vengeance. We shall see. We shall see who is out for vengeance. This is Velvet Owl watches David Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon get it on. Because at some point in this series, they're going to get it on, right? They've come close. They've come close. Sure. Press play, you say? I will do, right away. That was way too much rhyming. We start off inside the judge's chambers, and the judge kind of looks like George Costanza, plus 20 years, 50 years. Just a very old George Costanza. And he's smoking a cigar, looking over some papers or something, when he hears a lot of noises going on. And he's like, "Bailiff, what is that?" And then the bailiff shows up. "Dead!" Oh no, what's going on? And in comes this creepy tall guy with some sort of messed up jaw. Seriously, his jaw is very weird looking. He has got a really horrific jawline, I gotta say. So obviously he's evil, because you can tell a person if they're good or evil by their jawline. I didn't make these rules. Take it up with God. He's the one who did it. And he's got a gavel, and he's like, "Court is in session. All rise," and starts smashing the judge with the gavel and just goes at it. And fuck, he had a good line. No, not really. He had a one-liner, a bunch of bad one-liners, but oh yeah, I think as he's smashing the judge, he's like, "Court is in session," and once he's done, he's like, "Court is adjourned." And before he starts smashing the judge, he's like, "Remember me? I'm an animal that shouldn't be let loose in society." So, you had it coming, Judge. You could have sentenced him to jail, but not, insult him. That's where you go wrong. When you start calling these criminals animals, it hurts their feelings. And that's when they go and smash you in with the gavel. And court is adjourned. And the credits roll. After the sun goes down. I bet if I were to do some analytics, I bet each episode I lose viewers when I start singing. Theoretically, I don't know. I have 2 listeners. Is me liking the Baywatch Nights theme song considered Stockholm Syndrome at this point? Because I really hated it at first. But now I just want to, like, sing along with it every time I hear it. I think that is Stockholm Syndrome. Someone help me. Now that I think about it, I'm all like, Baywatch Nights isn't that bad. I got fucking Stockholms! I got David Hasselhoff Syndrome. I must fight against this. So, the forensics team has appeared on the scene, and they're checking through things, and the head detective's looking, and she finds something inside the mouth of the judge. It's a newspaper clipping of the judge insulting... Oh, fuck, I already forgot the bad guy's name. We'll just refer to him as the bad guy. So, again, like, you don't insult the bad guys before they go to jail. This is why, Judge. I don't think you should have been killed, but you should have been maybe prepared that it was a possibility because you fucking insult criminals. You just gotta be prepared for that. But, this case is hitting home because the detective, she's the one that arrested the bad guy. Like, oh no, it's gonna be trouble because the bad guy came after the judge. He's probably gonna come after the cops as well. And over at the Hasselhoff Detective Agency building, outside on the patio, Hasselhoff is working out. This is California. Like, I think that's just how it is. Like, you're in California, you just work out, because it's not really about keeping yourself in shape. It's about the babes. And, he's lifting weights and on his NordicTrack. Oh, good old NordicTrack. Do people still use the NordicTrack? Or is it a Bowmaster, a Rowmaster? Whatever. It's the one that, like, I'm pretty sure NordicTrack makes it as well. It's one of their machines where you kind of like are rowing a boat, except you're going nowhere. So, NordicTrack, just so fucking 90s. I don't know if people still use NordicTracks. I imagine they still are popular, but they were so fucking 90s, really, like, because you'd have infomercials with Chuck Norris, who was kind of, he wasn't quite like the internet sensation yet, but he was Walker, Texas Ranger. And it was kind of like that between time where he's a joke, but he's not a funny joke yet. And so, yeah, so he would pimp out NordicTrack on late night infomercials. And me being someone who doesn't like to sleep, I was very big on watching infomercials back in the day. Back when before I cut the cord. I think that was the reason I had to cut the cord, was I was spending way too much time on infomercials. Nowadays I don't. Even though I probably could find, like, hordes of infomercials on YouTube. God damn it! Why did I tell myself that? Now I am going to be up all night watching infomercials. But so Hasselhoff is working out on his NordicTrack, so the babes can walk by and see, like, hey, there's a sexy hunk of a man, and he's working out. Why, Hasselhoff? The babes can see your guns. And if they can't, it's because you got a bomb-ass brown Adidas bomber jacket on. And that makes the panties drop. But while he's working out, Angie Harmon's there in a crop top and workout pants. It's almost as good as the bikini. I've already lost my track of thought. Oh, Angie Harmon. I imagine if Angie Harmon ever, like, stumbles across this podcast, I am going to get a restraining order. She's going to somehow find me. This is going to be... Actually, Angie Harmon, if you are out there, do send me a restraining order, because I would fucking worship that. I would cherish it. I would, like, frame it and hang it up on my wall. velvetowl@hotmail.com if you want to send me a restraining order. What the fuck? Is that really where this podcast goes? I'm asking Angie Harmon to send me a restraining order? This is beyond. I have beyond Stockholm syndrome. I have some sort of fucking fucked up thing in my head right now. Where am I going with this? Angie Harmon's working out too, and she takes her turn on the Nordic Bowflex. Bowflex, isn't it? Is it the same thing? Is the Nordic and the Bowflex the same thing? Fuck. This is gonna bother me, and I'm not gonna be able to tell you what's going on the show. Yeah, I think it looks like Bowflex and Nordic are different things. But I don't like trying to pronounce Bowflex, so we're gonna. It's a Nordic, as far as I'm concerned, because it probably won't be at all in the rest of this episode, anyhow. And they're talking and Baywatch nights and why does my mind is just. So they're working out, and Hasselhoff is talking about how, he's got some hot date, and Angie Harmon's like, oh, well, that's okay, because I got one too. Like, oh. And they're both gonna have their date the same time at the bar today. And then Hasselhoff gets a call, and it's from the detective lady, who apparently used to be partners with Garner, and Garner also was with her when they arrested the bad guy. So, she's gonna try to warn him, but he's not there, so she's gonna show up for the lunch dates. All 3 members of the Hasselhoff Detective Agency. Yes, 3, because I still do not count Photo Boy as an official member of the Hasselhoff Detective Agency. Fuck him. I'm so pissed that, they replaced the hot psychic chick with fucking Photo Boy. So, to me, he is not an official member. So they have the plan, and Hasselhoff, he's about to head to the showers, and he smacks Angie Harmon on the ass in pure 90s sexual harassment fashion. Like, smack her! And like, want to join me in the showers? And she's like, in your dreams. But then when he walks away, she's like, maybe on second thought. Oh yeah! High five, Hasselhoff. Angie Harmon is going to join you in the showers. They're probably not going to share the shower. But in my headcanon, they are going to share the shower. Oh, I forgot to mention when they were doing the forensics thing, and they found the piece of paper in, like, the judge's mouth. The forensic guy is like, talk about eating your words. Bad forensics guy. Bad! You're not allowed to make puns. Puns are only for the villains and for the detectives, the head cops. Forensics officers are not allowed to make puns. Not my rule. If it was my rule, forensic guy, you can make all the puns you want. But these are the rules of police procedurals. So over at the bar, the detective lady, she's talking to Gardner. And, Gardner's all like, ugh, nervous. Meanwhile, Angie Harmon and David Hasselhoff's respective dates show up. And Angie Harmon's date is like just a walking stereotype of the white rich guy. Like, hello, Buffy. It's most splendid today. And I'm pretty sure he's wearing like Invisalign. He's got some sort of like mouth guard going on his teeth. I don't like it. And the dates seem a little more into each other. Like, oh, this is your date, Hasselhoff. She is quite lovely and fetching. And Hasselhoff states like, oh, hey, I hear you're rich. Richer than this lifeguard. Oh, yes, I'm going to buy a movie studio. Actual plot point. I don't know if that's a plot point or just like a detail. But yeah, he's planning on buying a movie studio. So, because this woman obviously has to be a gold digger. And I'm not saying that just because she's going for the rich guy. But she's choosing a rich guy over Hasselhoff. It's if you're choosing a rich guy over Hasselhoff, it is purely a money thing. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm projecting here. But, so Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon talk to Gardner, and he's like, oh, yeah, bad guy that we arrested. He's decided he's going to kill everyone involved in the case. In the time that it took the jury to convict him, which is 36 hours. Now, me, I would kind of look at that like, oh, he's going to do it in 36 hours. I am leaving, going out of state, not telling anyone, and I'll come back next week. And the time's up, like, oh, dude, you set the rules, you said 36 hours, you can't kill me now. But that's not the way Gardner rolls. And there's news that the assistant DA is now dead. Like, oh no! So, Gardner's on his way, and so is the detective lady. And so, Angie Harmon and David Hasselhoff, they're like, yeah, we're going too, because this guy trying to fuck with Gardner, he's trying to fuck with all of us. But not Photo Boy, because he is not officially a member of the detective agency. And, they apologize to their dates, like, oh, we gotta leave. Oh, that's quite okay, Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon. We will keep each other company. See, I can do voices. I don't know why you guys think that I am terrible at the voice game. That was a fucking fantastic impersonation. So they check out the crime scene with the assistant DA and blah, blah, blah. I kind of started daydreaming. I can't even tell you what I was daydreaming about. It's one of those, like, you ever just start daydreaming and just then are like, what the fuck was I thinking about? That's what happened here. So, something. And then Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon go back to the bar and they're like, are our dates still here? And Don D'Arco's like, nope, they left with each other. By the way, I'm off to Vegas to see my man, one of the many, many men that I sleep with. Good for you, Donna D'Arco. Do not let yourself get tied down. You fuck as many guys as you want. And they're all rich guys. So good for you. But I think she's rich, too. So I'm not passing any judgment of like, oh, she's fucking rich guys. She's like a sugar mama or something. She's rich, too. She has her own money. She just doesn't like poor people. It's understandable. It's how the rich people feel. That's why Hasselhoff's state left him. So Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon are like, well, they weren't really our types anyway. And Angie Harmon's like, my type is you, Hasselhoff. Unfortunately, I just don't date the people I work with. And then she makes out with him, which is so fucking, like, mixed signals. Okay? Like, I'm not one of these, like, that are like, this woman was sending mixed signals. I didn't know what to do. When in reality, she sent, like, no signals. That is fucking mixed signals. That when you tell someone, I'm not going to date you because I work with you, but let me make out with you. Then you're kind of like, does this mean I should quit my job so we can date? Which, yeah. Hasselhoff, you don't need the detective agency. You've got your Baywatch Days gig. You be a lifeguard. And being a lifeguard does not bother Angie Harmon one bit. So you quit the detective agency and get yourself some Angie Harmon action. Meanwhile, Garner's going to try to get some action of his own. I apologize for that one. As he and the lady detective are at her house, because he's going to stand there, to keep watch, I think, and keep guard. Oh, by the way, they used to date. So they still have a thing for each other, and things are going to, they're going to get it on, and the detective, she walks into the other room to pour some wine, and thunk! Loud noise. Garner, like, oh, I'll come help you, like, and then thunk! He gets hit from behind by the evil villain. But the villain tells Gardner, like, don't worry, you're not next on my list. I'm killing all the others and then coming for you. So, okay, so he's got an order of a list. So you have the list, and he's gonna do it in 36 hours. Gardner, you should have taken my advice and just leave, catch the plane with Donnie D'Erico down to Vegas, and come back sometime next week. 36 hours are up. Again, the villain's rules. At the very least, even if he now wants to kill you, you've just completely fucked up his plan. And he's not going to know what to do. And that's when you catch him. Am I the only one that thinks things out? You know this guy is... Because you already know all the victims. Because the next victims are probably like the jurors. You know the victims, and you know it's going to be within 36 hours. You gather up as many of the targets as you can, and just get them the fuck out of there so he can't kill them within 36 hours. You have fucked up his plan. He's going to go crazy. He's not going to know what to do, and then you can easily capture him. It's a brilliant plan, I think. So the villain, he left Gardner and kidnapped the detective lady. Did he kill her? I gotta assume he killed her. Right? Because why would he take her to not kill her, but leave Gardner to not kill him? But we haven't seen or learned if he's killed her, so she could possibly still be alive. We don't know where on the list she would be. But we do know that the next death is the jury foreman. And the bad guy comes in, he kills the detectives, cops, the undercover cops, I guess. Plainclothes detectives. Something. They're cops. They're just not wearing, like, uniforms. But they're there to bodyguard him because, you know, they know he's on the jury. He's got to be on the list. And they get killed, and the villain asks the jury foreman, why did you do it? Why did you stick your nose in my business? And, you know, the jury foreman's like, I was on the jury. It was my duty. And then the bad guy keeps talking about duty. And I can't help myself but laugh. Because it sounds like duty. But, you know, I would have taken the stance of, dude, I'm sorry. No one wants to do jury duty. I voted innocent. And the other guys, they gave me a purple nurple. And I would lift up my shirt and be like, well, it's healed since then. But they gave me a purple nurple. I did not want to vote guilty. But everyone else wanted to go home. And I had no choice. I'm sorry. If you want, you could give me a purple nurple on the other nipple. See, people, I know, you're just, you're scared, and when you're facing down a gun, the wheels don't turn as quick, and you can't come up with, like, this type of planning. But, jury foreman is killed, and his head is shoved into a giant fish tank. Because it's a cool visual, I gotta say. And, you know, Hasselhoff Detective Agency learns about it, and they're like, damn, we've got 16 hours left. How are we gonna catch him? She can. Am I the only one that sees that obvious plan of just get everyone the fuck away? Even just get them all... Well, I mean, it might be a little risky, because if you get them all together into one van and drive them off, he's going to chase after her and crash the... knock the van out. But he obviously has this plan that he's doing within a certain amount of time period, in a certain order. Even if you don't know the order, you know the time period. Fuck up his plan. That is what you do with these crazy serial killers who have to work according to a plan, is you fuck up their plan. It's not even about, like, catching them right away or saving people. You just fuck up their plan. It's going to throw them off because they probably have, like, OCD and they have to do shit in a certain order. And it's just going to fuck them off. They're going to get sloppy and they're easier to catch. Just... seriously, police agencies out there, hire me. I know what I'm doing. Oh, Detective Lady hasn't been kidnapped. Whew, good. Because that really would have made no sense. She's just, hiding. Or resting up. Whatever. She's just not involved. And, you know, they come up with some plan or something. Again, I was just kind of daydreaming. Like, la, 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 la. And, I don't know, they figure he's got to have some help in the inside. And there's a Russian dude. I don't know, his name might be Sergey. We're going to pretend it's Sergey. And Angie Harmon goes to speak to Sergey. And, you know, she thinks like, I think you know how to get things. Like, look at your weight. I think you eat fried chicken at least 3 times a week. Which what? You're calling him fat? He's not fat. Like, I can understand, like, regular chicken, like, you say that, because, you know, the chicken is some protein. So I could see, like, yeah, you know, he's in good muscular shape, so he is probably getting, like, good protein. But you go with the fried chicken thing, you're just saying he's fat. Because someone that's eating fried chicken 3 times a week is fat, not muscular. Just saying. Or maybe they can. Why isn't KFC, like, doing that sort of advertisement? Eat KFC 3 times a day, and you can be as stacked as Sergey. And I don't know. I don't even know what information he gives her, but apparently it's enough. It didn't sound like any information. It sounded pretty much just like saying that, yeah, this guy, he's kind of fucked up, and he's gonna kill everyone. Not my problem. I'm here in jail. Like, I was expecting, you know, like some sort of Silence of the Lambs thing going on. And, you know, there's the game between Angie Harmon and Sergey. Can she get the information? He's going to give her all sorts of cryptic clues that she's got to interpret and decode. I don't know. Maybe he might come back in later episodes of Baywatch Nights. But whatever it is he said to her is apparently enough, because she thinks she's ready to figure things out and solve the case. So through powers of deduction, Angie Harmon and Hasselhoff figure out who the next victim must be. Some snitch on the inside that helped keep them from getting parole. Oh no, those snitches. Snitches get stitches. Hasselhoff Detective Agency, let this one go. It's the code of the jungle. Snitches get stitches. This guy snitched. He deserves to be... I even made, like, the pantomime movement, even though you can't see it. But, so they go and find the snitch, and of course he's dead. And there's a note on it reading, Gardner, you're getting closer, but not close enough, or not quick enough. Which is kind of presumptuous, or maybe... I don't know, maybe he has all this faith in Gardner that, Gardner, you're gonna figure out that this guy was next to kill, right? So you'll find his dead body. Oops. But I leave a note congratulating you on figuring out the next victim. Or maybe he just leaves that note at all the victims and hopes, I'm sure Gardner's gonna figure something out. And they're like, okay, well, who's left? Apparently there's only one person left. Because... I don't know. There was a jury of 12 people. He killed one. Shouldn't he be going after the other 11? I guess only the jury foreman, because I guess, you know, he would have had the power to veto everything. Like, you know, the other 11 people also voted you guilty. I don't wish them dead, but... You know, if you're going after everyone that landed you in jail, those other 37 jurors are part of the problem. And I understand you only got 36 hours, but the 36 hours really was an arbitrary thing. Like, I think if it takes you a 37th hour to kill them all, we'll let it slide. Kind of how, like, one of the glaring plot holes of The Purge is, you could kind of kill someone a little after sunrise and lie and say, like, oh, no, it still was 5:53 when I killed him. But Garner gets a call, and it's from the killer, and he's got the lady detective, so Garner has to come, but meet him alone. Isn't that how it always is? You have to meet them alone, because, he's going to kill the lady detective in front of you, but he doesn't want to have more witnesses, I guess. Kill them all. No, this killer, he's got integrity. He is only killing certain people, so he doesn't want extra witnesses that have to... But wait, he's killed all, like, the cops that have been guarding the people he wants to kill. So, yeah, just bring them all in. But Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon, they're like, you're just walking into a trap, so we're going to help you. Hasselhoff knows something about the meeting place. There's a secret underwater entrance or some shit, which, last episode, we got Hasselhoff jumping from underneath the water. So, oh my god, I think we've gotten that quite a number of times, and I hope we get it again. Even better if Angie Harmon is jumping out from underneath the water, because then she'll be wet. But Hasselhoff jumping out from underneath the water is good, too. So, if we get that, I will be happy. So, over at the abandoned shipyard... I don't know, is it abandoned? Well, no one's working there right now, so it's abandoned. The villain ties the police lady detective to a crane and dangles her over the water, because he knows Garner's coming, and Garner does come. And Garner's got his pistol out. Meanwhile, the villain is up on top of the top area, and he's got an automatic rifle, and we get a gunfight, the kind that's kind of ridiculous because no one stops to reload. They just got unlimited ammo, which, is crazy, because even in a video game, you have to find extra ammo, unless you do have, like, a cheat code for unlimited ammo, but you still have to find the extra ammo most of the time. With these guys, they're on cheat code, they're on God mode. And during all this, the villain decides, well, I'm gonna drop the lady detective into the water, ha ha ha, and she will drown, because she's still tied to the crane, and so she won't be able to free herself. Luckily, David Hasselhoff, because he knew about the water beforehand, and he was hiding in the water, and so he saves her. And then he decides that, he's gonna try to climb the tower to stop the villain, but the villain sees David Hasselhoff, so he starts shooting at Hasselhoff, and Hasselhoff has to kind of hide under the water to try to avoid the bullets. Can he hold his breath long enough? But while the villain is so focused on Hasselhoff, Garner manages to come up from behind, and he catches the villain by surprise, and he tells him, put the gun down, or I'm gonna have to shoot. And the villain's like, yeah, fuck this, and tries to shoot Garner, but pow, pow, pow! Garner's just a little too quick on the draw. And the bad guy falls off into the water. Slow motion fall. Which, I don't know, I used to think, like, slow motion falls were so cheesy, but my, Baywatch Night Stockholm Syndrome has got me, and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. And he falls to the ground, or not to the ground, into the water, dead. And Garner is just looking at it, and it's hard for him, because he has just had to kill a man. Even though it's a bad guy, it's still a lot, and it weighs in on him. And he looks over, and Hasselhoff's got the lady detective, and they're fine. End credits. Which, I don't know, it always kind of bugs me when they end these episodes without, like, the, like, last minute resolution. Which, I mean, they killed the guy, so it's sort of a resolution. But, you know, they're not that last minute, like, the detective agency gets together and they reflect on today's episode. No, they just kind of, well, that's it, and this is going to weigh heavily on me until next week, when me having shot a person has absolutely no effect whatsoever, and I can understand this is going to have no effect on Hasselhoff, because it's Hasselhoff. Even if he has to shoot someone, if he has to shoot a bitch, he has to shoot a bitch. He is Hasselhoff. And it just, it's like water on the back of a duck. Am I using that phrase correctly? So, yeah, that was episode 18. Which then means by my count, we got like 26 episodes left. I don't know. I'm bad at math. But what I'm not bad at is that I love you guys.